Welcome to our tutorial on implementing user instructions in VR environments. Today, we'll guide you through the process of adding instructions that will display in a VR headset and on the mirrored desktop view. This will significantly enhance user experience and interactions with your VR applications. Let's dive into the steps to accomplish this. Step 1 is to prepare your environment. Ensure you have the necessary components and files in place before implementing user instructions. So for that, we will navigate into our SightLab files and search for the example scripts folder. And here we have an example script named instruction example. We will run that but we will open it by right-clicking and then clicking edit. So this will open up in your Vizard application. And now you can already see the code that we are running in our script here. So first we will have to import instructions, which is different from our normal SightLab scripts. Then you can decide whether you want your GUI to show or not. So if you don't want your GUI to show, you can replace this number by 0 and then back to 1 if you want to show it. For example, if you would predetermine which environment or avatar you're using, then it makes sense to disable the GUI. But for now, we will leave it on so that we can select our environment before starting our scene. So right here, basically everything is explained in these green lines above the code in between the code. But at first we will set our instruction flag to true so that we are able to display instructions. Then we wait for a key down, which is in this case spacebar. This is also normal for most of our SightLab experiments. And then we define our instruction message, which is in this case test, but we will replace this with something a bit more practical. So just select text and then Control V to input our text right here. And these two \ns just say that the text will be displayed in a new line, so they will be shown in different lines, and there's even a line in between, like a space line. Then it will wait for an event, which is in this case a trigger press. So this is you will have to press a trigger or the trigger to get out of your instruction. This is important to then start your scene or be in your scene again. So otherwise you will just see your instruction and can't get out of there. This is set to trigger press right here, but you could also replace it with any other key that you want to. Then if the scene is defined as having headlights off, and this is true, then the headlights will be disabled. Here we clear our message, so our instruction message that we determined or defined back here. It will be cleared here, and then we will set our instruction flag back to false. Now I will show you how you can implement instructions inside or while an experiment is happening. For that, we will have to go to our SightLab documentation, and here it already says if you want to add instructions mid-experiment, and then you will need this code. You can just copy that out. Control C to copy, and then go back to your script and Control V to input or to paste. Now what this says right here is that it will wait 4 seconds before it shows or before this instruction is visible. And this instruction is defined as, or the message of the instruction is defined as test. We could also change it again to anything else, but we will keep it on test for now. And then again, we will have to wait for the trigger press in order to get out of our instruction. Then the headlights are turned off again, and our instruction message is cleared, and the instruction flag is set back to false again. Now we will save this script, and then we run to see what's happening or what will happen. So right here, we will have to select our configuration. Now, if you have a VR headset connected to your computer, then I would recommend you picking it out here, out of this drop down list. But for now, I will just select desktop to show you in our screen recording here, and then press OK if you're happy with your configuration. Now we can see our GUI. We could also, as I said before, you could also disable this one. And then if you're happy with your environment choice, you can basically choose anything right here, because the environment isn't really affected by the instructions that display. So we will choose Old Church here and then press continue if you're happy with your settings right here. And then we can input participant information so that the data that is being collected is linked to basically a participant of your script, or somebody who runs the script. But for now we will skip that because we don't need the participant information to track any data right now. And then we will just click submit. And to start the scene we will press the spacebar, and now we can see our first instruction, which was look around the room. And then we of course have two new lines with the \new, and then it says press trigger when ready. So we are going to press trigger. The trigger in this configuration is the left mouse button. So because we are running this in our desktop configuration, we will have to press the left mouse button, and then we are in our scene. Now it will take 4 seconds for the next instruction to appear. This just says test, as we saw in our code before, and then we can press the trigger button again to get it back to our scene. Now this was all of our instructions, and then if we are finished with our scene, we will just press the spacebar to stop, and then the escape button to exit. This is also the one, exactly the same code as we have in our experiment and that I showed you already. So if you want to change the waiting time, for example, you could also change this one right here, and just input however long you want to wait for this instruction to appear. But you could also set different triggers, as in the rating scale GUI. So here you can again search for standard with text commands, and then you have all these conditions. So if any of these conditions are true at that exact moment, then it will display the instruction. If you change this line of code to any other condition. And then it's important to note that for multi-user, ensure that all clients set the instruction flag uniformly, so either on true or false. You can also incorporate instructions at specific times or based on conditions using a stem file. So this will also work in multi-user. Just keep in mind that you will all have to have the same settings for that. If you want to add instructions to your 360 video experiment, that's also very easy. You just have to add a few lines of code to your existing experiment. So just go to the SightLab adding instructions page. Here you will find the code necessary. Scroll down to for 360 video and multi-user, and then just copy this part. Control C to copy. Then we will have to go back to our SightLab script. You can just open that by going into your SightLab files and then looking for SightLab VR 360. Then right-clicking, also first clicking, then right-clicking, clicking edit. And this will open up our script in the Vizard application, where you can then import the code before, as it says on the website, before importing SightLab modules. So we are going to do that right here. Just click enter to make a new line, and then Control V to paste. And then we can already see we have import viz 2 times, so we can delete one of them. Then we just have import viz, import settings. Right here it sets the instruction flag to Boolean, so this will allow us to set the value to true or false. So if we want to use the instruction flag, we will have to turn it on or to change it to true. And then we can customize our instruction text. In this case, it's look at the scene, and we can just use it as an example right now. And here it says the text says again, before importing SightLab modules, and here we are importing the SightLab modules. So we will have to import the text or the code before this line right here, and then we can just save it and run this script. We're going to see what's going to happen. So we will of course have to select our configuration again. We will select, or I will select desktop, but you could also select any other headset that you got connected to your PC. And then we click OK. This will open up this window, and here you could also select different kinds of or different media files, but for now we will just use the parking lot picture. Click continue to start the scene and then submit. So here you could also input, of course, your participant information to then have the data linked to a person or to a participant, but we won't do that right now. We will just click submit and then press spacebar to start. And as you can see, this is our instruction text. It will move with us, so wherever we look at, this will appear in the middle of our, or almost middle of our screen. And if we want to, well, start our scene, we will just have to press the trigger button once, and then we are in our scene. Now we can just use the scene as like any other scene, and if we were done, of course, click the spacebar again and then click escape or press escape to exit. You can also use images for your instructions. For that, we will have to go in our example scripts file again and then search for image instructions. Here we right click and click the edit button to open it up in our Vizard application again. And now you can already see that we are adding a texture, and then you will just input your file path for the picture that you want to display, and we can look at it in the scene what will happen. So we will run the script and pick the desktop configuration. Okay, then press spacebar, and now you can see that this picture is being displayed as like a instruction, and you can look around, view that. And if you're ready, so you also see that the time is not running right now, and if you're ready, you can click the trigger button and then it will start the scene. Adding user instructions within VR environments is a crucial aspect of enhancing user interaction and guiding them through experiences. By following these steps, you can seamlessly integrate instructions into your VR applications, providing a more immersive and user-friendly experience. Experiment with these methods to create engaging VR environments for your users. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more VR development guides and tips. See you in the next tutorial.